Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. I am your host, Dan the Man, and I am here with your favorite flower child, Eliza Haze. Hello, Eliza.
Hello.
Thank you for being here on Dan-A-Plooza.
Thank you
So
for having me.
you're welcome. So for those watching and future watching, Eliza Haze, known as your favorite flower child, you can find her on social media on Eliza Haze and Instagram. So you can go ahead and follow her. She's also on Facebook. Are you on the X, the Twitter?
Um, I never closed out the account, but I don't get on there anymore. I do
Okay.
have a YouTube though.
And you have Eliza Haze, and that's your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yep. So you can follow her on that. If you are into seeing her in the wrestling ring, you can see her at a couple events. It's the UWE that is in Oklahoma. That's on January 24th. And you can also go to the Core Wrestling. That is January 23rd in Oklahoma. And in February, she's going to be with Off the Rope Studio in Canada. So stay tuned for that event. So go ahead and follow those events. So let's go ahead and we'll do the honor segment. This is where Dan the Man honors his guest for doing his show. Don't have a lot of fancy graphs and everything, so we just listen to Dan and use our imagination. All right. So Eliza, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do our show. We really like the nickname "Your Favorite Flower Child." It actually, it actually is has a connection to me because I've been in the musical show Hair, and so
Ooh.
yes, in college, and so it was, I definitely had lots of different characters and different robes and everything, and it was a great show that I did all the way back in 2004. So, so immediately we had musical memories when we heard the name. But and we've watched some of your matches, you know, and it's really good stuff. We've been posting them in the YouTube and the Dan-A-Plooza Facebook group page for people to watch from your YouTube channel. So that way people could understand more of your wrestling background. So we'd like to thank you. You're an amazing wrestler, beautiful woman, very talented. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. Now we're going to shift gears and we're going to let Eliza decide how the rest of the show goes. So all the power goes from Dan the Man to Eliza. And and so Eliza, we have three different options. You can do where I do questions and then impressions later. You can do where I do impressions first and then questions later, or the popular mixed bag, which is question, then I do an impression, and then we do a question, and I do an impression. So what would you like?
Let's do that mixed bag.
Yeah. Let's pick like 99% of the time. Only like 2% has it never gone. All right. So, my first question I want to ask you is what does it mean for you to be a wrestler? What do you most like about being a wrestler?
It's gotta be that live crowd atmosphere. And you really miss it during COVID
Yes.
when folks were doing the closed ring matches. And I do some custom matches as well. So those are always closed
Yeah.
ring. And it's just not the same. That crowd, it just gives you so much to feed off of. And it just gives so much more energy to the place.
It does. It's it was hard. Like I feel like when I was watching SmackDown or like Raw, and you're seeing everybody on the little monitor screen, and you know
Mm-hmm.
can't be like boo boo, and they can't really hear you. You know, it's just
Yeah.
a face. You know, and so um, that was like really hard. I know that I had attended some virtual events, some different performers and everything, and I feel like the virtual world, while it does work for some arts, it's so hard for wrestling. To
Hmm.
virtually put it up and get the audience. You would
Yeah.
just see emojis, and you just can't feel, and feel the audience through computer. I just feel like that just throws you way off.
Yeah. And I mean, pro wrestling is about the fans. And when you take the fans out of it, it's missing that lifeblood.
Yeah, and that was the hard part, and so it becomes, well, what do we do now, to fill the time and the void? Um,
Hmm.
and for me, it was coming up with this show. But it really was. It was definitely a challenge. I had seen concerts and virtual like Saliva and
Hmm.
Tiffany. And it's interesting with the song. I think we're alone now. Yep, because no
Yeah.
one else is here. Just my
There's no
cat.
one within 6 feet.
Just my cat that's occasionally coming in the room and exiting the room. But so the best thing that I would ever say is hopefully that never happens again, because
Yeah.
I don't know how it could ever do that unless we would do stuff like this and maybe showcase matches or something like that, and have panels and stuff. And, you know, that's just me trying to spitball and come with an idea. But yeah, I definitely I dig the whole crowd vibe. And I know that sometimes it can get have you ever gotten like a certain reaction, like maybe you're like a baby face or a heel, and the crowd just goes a complete different direction?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, the first time that I went up to Canada, I faced Nova, and
Okay.
she was really big, around those parts. And she was being a bit more on the aggressive side. I was
Yeah.
more like babyface side, but because I was from the US,
Oh yeah.
I kind of got booed. Now they did cheer by the end. They were reluctant, but it was begrudgingly, but they did cheer by the end.
And that's a hard thing, but I think it comes into your background of expect the unexpected sometimes and having to just flip the script. I've seen it happen before where indie wrestler Andrew Palace, I don't know if you know him. Uh he's very hyper energy. Kind of reminds me of like the Warrior. He runs all the way around the ring. And I went and saw him at a match, and people booed him, and he gets cheered like all the time. So he got booed by everybody in the audience except like me. And he's like, Dan, I go, I don't know. This is weird for me too. Because like so then he went and played the heel, but he would come over and talk to me in and out of the match and everything like that, just because I stayed loyal to him. I was the only person that didn't turn that night. I've met him so many times, but yeah, he's like, and this is what we're gonna do, and like he'd do this. I'd be like, yeah, you should do that. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm heel tonight too. But it's such a great thing. Okay, would you like a impression? I can do a wrestling impression. I could do Arnold. I could do an 80s movie. What would you like?
um, hmm. Let's start with one of those 80 movies.
Okay. Do you have a particular favorite 80s movie on the board? We have Clue, Little Shop of Horrors, Gremlins, Back to the Future, Weird Science, Labyrinth, Breakfast Club, Never Ending Story.
Um,
Any-
they're all good, but let's hear one from Clue.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get my stopwatch. Are you ready?
Yep.
I am your singing telegram. Bang! So apparently something happened here in the study, and if we run here into the kitchen, someone killed the cook. But who did that? Was it Professor Plum? Colonel Mustard? Miss Scarlet? Miss Peacock? Only you can help me find the answer. So that's that's kind of my clue.
I love Madeline Kahn in that movie. The whole flames.
Oh, flames.
She was amazing.
She was. And I love Tim Curry. And I always said I want to be Wadsworth and just run around and just. But Tim Curry was amazing. I don't know if you had ever seen when he had his stroke, but he said that the thing he missed most was his speech and how he had to learn to redo his speech.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about the fourth alternate ending for Clue?
It's been a while.
So there was one more alternate ending where Wadsworth just goes around and kills everybody. He said he really liked that ending, but it didn't make the final cut.
Oh man. Yeah, I love Tim Curry in that role, and I also like him in Congo. I don't know if you've ever seen Congo, where that's the movie with the monkeys, and the monkey can talk with the speaking thing. And
forever ago.
Yeah, and so there's a scene where the guy's meeting the military over there, and he's like, have some sesame seed cake, and like he's eating it and everything. He goes, stop eating my sesame, and he's just trying to. We will find the lost city of Zinj.
So when he did Muppet Treasure Island,
yes,
they said the big difference between Tim Curry and Michael Caine acting with the Muppets was Michael Caine acted like the Muppets were like professional Shakespearean actors and treated them all as like professionals. And Tim Curry he became a Muppet.
Yeah. Oh man, that's another great actor, Michael Caine. Always liked him, and especially as Alfred in Batman.
Very saucy Alfred.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, "Oh, is that what you think, Master Wayne?" I'm like, "Oh, burn!" All right. What I want to know is, how did you get your nickname, your favorite flower child?
It just kind of came with the name. It just kind of flowed together. I was going for, not the grungy hippie, not the bohemian kind of hippie, but like that colorful, just happy vibe, trippy little hippie vibe. So decided to go with Flower Child.
There you go. It fits very well. All right, let's do another impression. How about Back to the Future?
Ooh, okay.
All right, let me get out my watch. Okay, and all right, here we go. It's make like a tree and leave. You sound like a dang fool when you say it wrong. Okay, then leave, old man. Do you really think I should curse? Yes, you should curse and you should punch him in the face. Hey, you, get your dang hands off of her. This is your cousin? No, Marvin Berry. Listen to this. Earth angel, will you be mine? I'm such a fool in love with you. Thank you. I've actually met Marvin Berry on the internet, and we sang Earth Angel together.
That's cool.
I'll have to send you that clip if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
And And he's like, oh, we're doing a duet today, and I'm like, yes, yes, please. But and he had the whole tux on too, like he was
Oh,
all dressed up, and I had a tux on too. But they didn't match, you know. They were like, you know, his was more of a darker green, mine's like aquamarine green, but you know, it's still part of the green family. But I've met her, I've met him, I've met Biff before. Biff was in a KFC commercial for biscuits in the late 1980s. So I showed him the commercial and we started laughing and we posed with KFC biscuits. And then I met Lorraine, and I got lots of pictures with Lorraine, and it was really good. I haven't met Michael J. Fox, but he doesn't do a lot of appearances.
yeah.
And I haven't met Doc Brown. I've ran into Doc Brown. Like, he just smiled and nodded and was looking for the door, and he just said hello and shook my hand. He's just glad that I wasn't, you know, like some fans are. So, you know, he was pretty cool. But yeah, so that was that film. Okay. So what is your wrestling dream match? Any opponent you could choose?
Oh gosh. Right now, well, there's three top ones. Becky Lynch and Asuka have been two of my top ones for a while, or Trish Stratus. But I think somebody that would be a blast to go against right now would be Toni Storm, because
miss Toni Storm.
the whole timeless Toni Storm thing, it's phenomenal. Like, I cannot believe how well that is working. It's so great. I love watching all of her promos.
She kills me when she calls her opponent Slop Tart. Listen up, Slop Tart. And I'd be like, that's me. I'm Slop Tart. But yes. I enjoyed their feud, Mariah May and Timeless Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of still wish she had the belt, but she's someone who doesn't need the belt also.
Yeah.
But I kind of like her and Mina Shirakawa.
Mm-hmm.
I like them together. And I also really enjoy Harley Cameron. She's ridiculous, but I love the whole Mini Monet puppet. And, Atlanta. And I also like Willow Nightingale. And
yes, Willow is a sweetheart. I reffed a match for her years ago, WrestleMania weekend in Tampa, and she went up against Genocide, and they had a dance off in the middle of the match. It was great.
It's awesome. I've met Willow twice. I met her probably in 2014 when she was just starting to wrestle in PA. I was doing this, and so she was glad somebody was like doing a movement, and then I saw her wrestle because there was a wrestling organization in PA, and she wrestled that night. But I have nothing but good things to say about Willow. She's just she is really there for the fans, and she puts so much hard work. And I tell people she's probably the nicest and easiest wrestler to talk to. Like, if you have any kind of nerves or anything for fans meeting wrestlers for the first time.
Yeah, she was so easy to work with.
Yeah, I'm just glad that she's a champion right now. I love that she has a belt.
She totally deserves that.
Yeah, I'm just glad. And then I even like her finish, the pounce. Reminds me of Marcus Corvon doing the pounce, you know, when he did it in TNA.
Well, and Keith Lee did it too. Keith Lee had a really good one.
Yes, and I like Keith Lee too. He's really nice. And Mia Yim, Mia Yim, Mitchin, you know. But yeah, I could definitely see you and Becky Lynch fighting. And I feel like maybe you'd have to bring up something about the Sports Illustrated or something like that. No one cares about Sports Illustrated. Asuka. I heard Asuka hits really hard, you know.
Oh yeah, that Japanese strong style, man.
Yeah. And I see sometimes she kind of plays with the fans. They'll meet her at WWE World or WrestleMania, and she'll be like, "Oh, you're wearing Ripley," and like she'll like mess with them. She's like, "Okay, you take picture," but she's just messing because you're not wearing an Asuka shirt because you're wearing Ripley or Alexa or Charlotte, and but I really like her. I like Kari Zane. I always think Zane, phenomenal athlete. I was sad when she left, but I'm glad she came back. And then see, some of my favorites are Rhea Ripley. I really like. Charlotte is starting to grow on me, where I'm starting to like Charlotte Flair. I like her and Alexa Bliss together.
That strangely works.
Yep. That's a good fit. I'm enjoying watching Thea Hale right now on NXT. I think she has a lot, and someone who I expect big things on the roster is Sulruka. Yeah, so I like just pretty much about any of them, but yeah, I definitely feel like you could do a tag, you and Trish versus Becky and and whoever, but yeah, I definitely feel like that is a good match. I just met Trish a month ago at yeah, and she gave me some advice because I'm working out and I've already lost 20 pounds, so she gave me some advice. And so when I was doing the finger in the pose, she's like, "Oh, this is what we're doing," and she's like, "Yep." And I met her and Lita both, and Lita was very chill. She was awesome. Trish has always been so great, and just a lot of the women wrestlers are very nice, understanding, down to earth. Met Francine many times from ECW, so it's just nice. Now, do you ever go to any of those conventions like WrestleCon, WrestleCade?
No, just because I'm pretty busy with like my shoot job and everything. So in fact, I just got back from a conference in Chicago yesterday. So but I went to River City Con in Jacksonville a couple years ago. I was helping promote an upcoming show there, and I went to Albuquerque Comic Con a couple years ago to promote a show with another group. But I didn't get to meet many wrestlers. I did get to meet Medusa. She was really cool. She was one of my early idols.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She's talked to me about some Macho Man stories because I've always liked Macho Man, and he was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, was the Macho Man, because he was pretty much the same person in the ring as he was outside of the ring, and there's a whole story between him and Jake the Snake where he had the snake bite Macho Man's arm.
Yeah, I heard that one.
And where he had to prove that the snake wasn't venomous and bite Jake on the leg, and he's like, "Don't take any elixirs or pills or anything," But Duggan told me one time, he says, we were doing a show, Dan, and we left to go to McDonald's, and Macho Man, we were in McDonald's. He's like, "I'll have a burger and a fry and a shake," and he's like, Duggan's like, "Can you keep it down, Macho? Because we're here. We're just trying to." Not cause attention, and Macho's like, "I'm down, Duggan, I'm done with these fries," and just so that's a story that Hacksaw Jim Duggan likes to tell. But yeah, I could totally see that happening. But he's always a favorite to imitate because he's just like he's very over the top, and I've got to hold his ring before, his Hall of Fame ring.
Oh, cool.
Lenny Poffo. And I kid you not, Eliza, when I put it on, it just like sat like on my pinky. So huge. Like it would fit more like on my thumb, because it was so big. But yeah, there's so many great stories about Macho Man, and I think there's even one where Eric Bischoff was trying to do a contract, and they're in the middle of doing a negotiation, and then he ordered more food. I think there was 140 beer bottles like in the suite or something like that. And like the room service like, do you need anything else? Like there's all this plethora. He's like, no, we're good for now. For now. But all right. Should I do another impression?
Sure.
Okay. Let me do. Should I do some Gremlins? Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Just more. I need a present for my son. Mugway, not for sale. Oh, come on, let me go ahead and pitch it. Well, there are 3 rules. First of all, don't feed him after midnight, and never get him wet. Aw, what is it? Rambo. Gizmo. Bright light, bright light.
Gremlins is such a goofy franchise. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And especially because I get asked this, is that a Christmas movie? Because it takes place at Christmas, or is it just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it could count. I did see I like watching baking shows, and I was watching like one where they have teams do these big like baking like Christmas displays.
Yeah.
And they did the theme was Gremlins for one of them.
That's awesome.
It's amazing what people can do with sugar.
Oh yeah. I met one of the puppeteers from Gremlins, Mark Dobson.
Oh,
He was a puppeteer for Gremlins. He was the one that took out the electric pole where the light just where he bit that. And then he was also Salacious Crumb in Star Wars with Jabba the Hutt. The puppeteer for that.
Nice.
So, and I have met Jonas Samatu, who is the voice of Chewbacca. He's the new Chewie. And he gets cameo request for Chewbacca voice. And he has to do like the wedding song, like as Chewbacca. He's like, but yeah. And he told me about meeting Harrison Ford for the first time. And he goes, do you know when you made that movie? I wasn't born yet. And he goes, I don't know if I can work with this Chewie over here. It's making jokes already. So, okay. Let's ask another question. Let me see. What was it like having Devon Dudley as a mentor?
Devon is awesome. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about Devon. He's such a sweetheart. He knows this business like inside and out. And just pretty much anything he has to say, like always listen. He runs a pretty tight ship, and Dan, the guy who's in charge of conditioning at the school, is tough. But funny. He actually used to train the American Gladiators.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like Dan knows his stuff too. So one of the core principles at Devon's school is conditioning. And that's actually why I ended up leaving the school, because I started having like some really bad knee problems. Mm-hmm. And I could not keep up. And they were super accommodating. I mean, they were trying to come up with stuff that, like, while everybody else was doing some of the stuff that's really hard on your knees, They had some other things for me to warm up and to help condition and strengthen my knee. But it just got to a point where I felt bad because I felt like I was holding everybody else back. So I ended up leaving the school then, and then not too long after left the state. So for different reasons, but but I will always look back, and I have all of my notes from the drills and everything we did, and I will always remember Rikishi hating my practice match. We did a practice match, and he would bring guys in sometimes, and some folks from like the performance center, if they just needed a little extra work, like they would come and jump in on training too. And he brought Rikishi the one night to help kind of like give feedback on some of our practice matches.
Mm-hmm.
And the match I did that night, me and the girl I was facing, we swapped roles.
Okay.
So she was normally a heel and I'm normally babyface. So we switched roles, and she'd done it a bit more, so she was a bit more comfortable with it, but I'm not a great heel. And because I'm too nice. So if I made a kid cry, that'd be it. I'd be like, nope, I'm done. So that's a big weak point for me, and it definitely was that night. So he wasn't too thrilled with the match because it just wasn't very convincing. So, but I do have a picture with him, so because we did a big group picture. But Devon, yeah, he's just so kind, and when you get to see him with his little girls, like you can just see how like good of a dad he is. And even seeing him with the boys, it's really hard to find people that kind in the world. And he's one of them.
Oh, yes. I can attest to this because I also met him last month too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he will be tough on you. Like, he will not let you slide because he can see the potential in everybody, and he is not going to let you slack off.
Yep. You definitely see that. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say as we wrap it up here on Dan-A-Plooza?
Gosh. Well, you covered most of the main points earlier. You kind of plugged some of my upcoming matches in Oklahoma, and there's going to be another one. So keep an eye on my Facebook and my Instagram for announcements on that. And Off the Rope Studio next month up in Toronto. We're doing a Queen of the Ring show, so it's going to be an all-female show. I think there's going to be one guy's match, just for representation. And yeah, from there, I am working on getting some more bookings. Hoping to go back to Pennsylvania again soon. So just keep an eye out there. I also have some merch on prowrestlingtees.com.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up for here on Dan-A-Plooza. I have one more guest. I have Pinup Girl Uptown Cat on Dan-A-Plooza. So stay tuned and have a good night.